Ballgame.
All right, hour number 3, Prater in the Ballgame, Idaho Sports Talk right here, KTIK The Ticket. Download the new app if you haven't. You need to, man. Plus, this segment is on our YouTube channel. If you want to see what color of vest Michael Forrest Prater is wearing today, well, you're going to have to get to our YouTube channel or find us on Twitter, because this segment is video as well as audio, Prater.
Ballgame, I wear black every day. Not because I think I'm Johnny Cash, but it helps hide the fat.
Not because I think I'm Johnny Cash.
I said not because I think I'm Johnny Cash, because it hides the fat. So.
Does Prater remind you of Johnny Cash? Text me the answers on that.
Ballgame, stop.
Prater, what's next? This is a new series we're doing also because, heck, spring football, not going to be here anymore. Bye. And we want to know what's going on with offense, defense, special teams, coaching, the stadium upgrades, whatever it is. We figured we'd start today kind of leaving off where the spring game left us, with the offense looking good. What's next with this offense, this offseason, heading into next year? What's popping into your head?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few questions. I mean, the offense is in really, really good shape. That's kind of what we picked today because it's good news. It's exciting news. And that was the story of the weekend, the spring game. Anybody that went to that, heard about that, read about it, you know that the offense was the star of Saturday. And it's pretty exciting. It's been a while around here since the offense was the star. Andy Avalos, during his entire regime at Boise State, has failed to score 25 or 30 points a game. That is the standard around here. 25 consecutive years of averaging at least 30 points a game. And here comes Andy Avalos cranking out 28, 29. That needs to change with at least a touchdown. This team needs to get up to 35 plus per game. And with the kind of talent they have, there's no doubt about that they have the weapons to make that happen. What's next? What's the priority? What's the offseason for Boise State football and its offense? Well, first of all, in this day and age, you can't lose anybody to the transfer portal. Nothing would surprise us. All the way from Taylon Green, that would surprise me a little bit, all the way down to the Smith kid, offensive line. I ranked him as the last place depth on the depth chart of the offensive line. Anybody could transfer this day and age. I don't expect any Boise State offensive players to transfer. And I don't expect Boise State to have to dip into the transfer portal and get anybody unless it's an offensive lineman and he has to come with a great amount of comfort. You just don't plug in an offensive lineman, but there's no room for a quarterback. There's no room for a running back. There's no room for a wide receiver. There's no room for a tight end. There's no room for anybody else. Maybe an offensive lineman for some depth. Otherwise, I think most of the offseason work is done for this offense.
Nathan Cardona, you said, is basically penciled in as the center.
I would get rid of the word basically.
Okay, he's going to be the center of this team.
I would get rid of the pencil. I would take out your Sharpie, and Nathan Cardona is your starting center.
Sharpie him in. How do you feel about Cardona as the center?
I watched him a little bit on Saturday, and I'm not going to come to too many conclusions. I mean, he's been in the program for a couple of years. They've been talking about him, raving about him all spring camp. Jason Steele is a true freshman. This dude should be chasing his girlfriend at prom right now, and he's going to be the backup. He played second reps on Saturday, but Nathan Cardona is going to be your starting center. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure Boise State's locked in with Dooley at left guard, Cardona at center, and Curran as your right guard. Nothing is going to happen this summer in terms of the tackles. Amos, Schmidt, Beresford, Moore, Komalafi, who I'm not sure who's going to end up on the tackles.
Cage.
Yeah, Casey is certainly one of those two, but I don't believe he played much this spring because of injuries, but I got to figure that part out. There's some tools to be had. I just don't think that they're going to need the transfer portal. We'll dive deeper into the transfer portal later on in this week, but there are 43 players on Boise State's roster on offense. And I think all 43 of them are locked and loaded and ready to go.
Yeah, not going to lose a single player. Now, I would have thought maybe you're going to need to dip into the portal, maybe at quarterback. What's next at quarterback? Obviously behind Taylon Green. And we talked about this a little earlier. I mean, you have Maddox Madsen, CJ Tiller will redshirt. Maybe he gets a run or two. I doubt it, though. It'll probably be Taylon Green and Maddox Madsen as the only quarterbacks who take a snap this year, Prater. And I left the spring game with a much better feeling as to what's next at quarterback as I did walking in and seeing that beautiful scoreboard. I look at Mad Dog, and he's like this little grenade, man. He's short, he's stocky, like he's quick, and I thought he played pretty well. Obviously he played statistically better than Taylon Green passing wise, but I don't know if that was against the second or third team defense. But what's next at quarterback? Mad Dog, Taylon Green?
Yeah, I think Maddox Madsen, and maybe I'm not as surprised. Just last year, as a backup who never really saw the field, they talked about him a lot. Cutter talked about him a lot. Cutter raved about him a lot. The way he ran the scout team, the way he did certain things in practice, the way he conducted his business, they liked him. We're all very uncomfortable with him getting on the field because we haven't seen him yet. And I think that Saturday, you're 100% right. And he gave us a really nice sense of security on Saturday by just coming out, and he looked the part. He was smooth. He completed a lot of passes. He looked really good. Certainly the star of the day when it comes to stats for this offense. But I think they're comfortable with Maddox Madsen. We did specifically ask Andy Avalos during spring ball, are you bringing in another quarterback? And he said, yes. But it's the fifth quarterback coming into the program will be the local walk-on kid. I forget his name. And he'll join the team this summer or this fall.
Yeah.
And I believe he'll be the fifth quarterback. I don't believe Boise State needs to go into the transfer portal. I'd be very much opposed to Boise State going in the transfer portal and getting a quarterback at this point.
Are you guys at the point when we're talking what's next, where it's Ashton Genty, RB1, George Holani, the second back, and how do you want to mix and match those two? 208-424-9300. Give us a call. Maybe you saw something. Maybe you were actually at the spring game. What did they predict, Prater? 3,000?
2,000 to 3,000.
Okay, gosh, that's not even close to filling. Like, I think about that, putting that in Extra Mile Arena. That's like halfway of the lower bowl.
Yeah.
Just not a lot of people at this spring game. But if you guys were there and you saw some stuff on RB1, let us know. Prater, I've heard you say it. I'm saying it too. I think Ashton Genty, I don't know if it'll be week one. I think you still start Holani in Seattle with 80,000 people there. But I think Genty is ready to lead this team in rushing for the first year, Michael. I'm ready.
I'd start Genty against Washington. I'd make him my RB1. But
you would?
Well, yeah, but it's also going to go back and forth. And it's I don't need Ashton Genty to carry the ball 1,000 times. I need him to be I need him and his legs to be fresh for the next 2 years. He's a 2-year guy for me, and I don't want to completely exhaust those legs, especially when you have a George Holani. So, Genty, I think I would line him up in the backfield first. I would make him your starting running back, but certainly Holani comes in as your RB2 sometimes, maybe your RB1, maybe one of your top returners, maybe one of your top pass catchers out of the backfield. Holani's a beautiful pass catcher. He's a beautiful pass pro guy. Jenny's a decent pass pro guy, and maybe that will be the decision making when it comes to the Washington game. But this isn't a charity case. Ashton Genty's better than George Holani.
I'm ready to say that too.
Yeah, it's obvious. It's obvious.
Anybody disagree? Let us know.
Why would I want to put the second best guy on the field? And I got no problem saying that. I think George Holani would say that. I think George Holani's coming back and knowing exactly what his situation is. He's not going to be the star. He may not be get the 1,000 yards that he has in the past. I think he just wants to come back and enjoy the experience and be one hell of a teammate. And he's going to be highly productive to boot. So in this day and age, you need 2 running backs. They got 2 running backs, and I think it's a beautiful thing.
1,100 yards from Holani last year. Is there a chance they have 2,000-yard rushers in this backfield? That's never happened at this school. Is there a chance it happens this year? Is this the best chance you ever remember?
Yeah, I think so.
I think there's a shot there, too.
Sure, why not?
All right, what's next at receiver for you?
Receiver, just get on the field and play catch every single day for the next 100 days. Just Cobbs, Caples, Bowens, McAllister, Strahan, and let's throw in a little Whiting as well. And those are my 6 guys. And I think that those are some of the that might be one of the best wide receiver groups that on paper Boise State's ever had entering a season. I can't wait to see how it shapes out. Yeah, there's no number 1, there's no Pettis, there's no Young. I get that, but I think in any given year, especially Strawn and Whiting could absolutely emerge as a better player, as a better productive wide receiver. So I love all 6 of these guys, and just get out there and play a lot of catch this summer.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're going to decipher. It's going to be real odd, Prater, because there's going to be a lot of games where big name players with this program, and I'm talking Steph Cobbs, I'm talking Latrell Caples, Billy Bowens, might be non-existent for certain games because Prince Strawn, because Eric McAllister, those 2 players, or Shea Whiting. I'm going to do that all summer. Shea Whiting, the receiver, makes plays. There's the Colorado transfer kid who we haven't seen, but he's in the room.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's in the room. I never heard his name once in the spring.
I didn't either.
Not
Austin Bolt. Where the hell is Austin Bolt? Has he bolted? No pun intended. Ben Ford.
Austin Bolt is no longer with the Boise State football team. He's listed on the roster, but he hasn't been with the team for all of camp. He wasn't on the property on Saturday. He hasn't been with the team for the last 2, 3, 4 weeks. I'm not sure what's going on there because they do list him on the roster.
Yes, he is.
But he has not been to the facility. He has not been with the team, and he has not participated in spring camp, I believe, from almost the very, very beginning. Austin Bolt is no longer with the Boise State football team. I don't know if he's taking a break. I don't know if he's looking elsewhere. I don't know if the coaches told him to go get healed and get your leg taken care of. I don't know what's going on. I just know for a fact that Austin Bolt is no longer he's part of the Boise State football family, but he's not showing up for lunches and breakfasts and dinners anymore.
Okay,
if you know what I mean.
That's good food. That's good eats over there too. I mean, what's going on with Austin Bolt? What do you think about that? We'll read some texts during feedback finale tonight. And I think we covered a bunch of stuff. What else? Is there anything that pop into your head about what's next for this offense? Just what? PRPs, obviously. I mean, that's going to be coming up. The summer's going to be coming up. It's going to get hot out. They're going to work out, obviously, and try to continue to have the best offense they can getting ready to Labor Day weekend in Seattle, man. I can't even believe that game, by the way. If you're joining us, JP told us Prater doesn't like this. That game is in 145 days.
You guys can keep saying that all you want. I need every one of those 145 days. Don't get arrested. That's one thing not to do this summer.
Yes.
Let's make sure we get I want some serious name, image, and likeness cash for Green, Holani, and Genty. I think that those are the only 3 offensive players that deserve it right now. And I want to see all 3 of those guys become millionaires by the end of the summer. Well, that's not going to happen.
No.
I'll give you some money numbers, though, on the Taylor Green NIL package that we're going to talk about this week. He's getting some pretty good cash.
Is he really?
It's the biggest name, image, and likeness deal, I believe, cash-wise, Boise State's ever had.
That's a good start.
So Green's getting some cash. Holani needs some cash, although I don't think he really cares. Genty needs some cash. I think he would care.
Well, you're speaking for George Holani's wallet right now. Love it for us.
Well, George Holani wouldn't mind the cash. But George Holani's not the kind of guy that's just going to go out there. He's not going to pimp himself for ice cream for a couple $100. Okay. I just think he's a different cat.
Okay.
And I think that that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not out there pumping himself up, promoting himself. He's kind of like he's my kind of guy. I love him. I love George Holani, and he takes care of his business, and I don't think he cares about this other crap.
145 days. Can we put one of those calendars in there where it does like the countdown, Prater?
Sure.
Every single day, 45 days till when?
Just one more thing for Johnny to be distracted, JP.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
I mean, how often am I going to look at it? Once a day?
Every single day, every single show.
Come on.
144 days, 143 days.
This is the same guy, though, Prater, that couldn't get used to the fact that he doesn't have the clock in front of him anymore. He has to actually look up.
Well, Prater had the same clock problem as I did, JP.
Well,
he was with me. He said he used the same clock in this studio for 25 years, and you took his clock away, and Prater was a little upset, too.
I was for 24 hours, but I'm good now.
I'm over it, too. I thought I would miss that clock. It's like, guys, you're programmed to stare at certain things, right?
Yeah.
Like, take the clock in your car, and from wherever it is, move it to it and somewhere else. And just say, oh, it's okay. Just look over there when you want to see the new clock. And it's easier said than done. You keep looking at the old clock spot.
It was weird. It was weird for a day. It was weird for a day.
We got some soapboxes. We got the Masters Sunday. That was kind of fun yesterday, JP. Let's talk a little bit about that coming back. We'll read all these texts. And again, your thoughts. What's next for the Boise State offense? What do you think are the top priorities this offseason? JP, it's Prater in the Ballgame, Idaho Sports Talk.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic.
This afternoon,